Hello and welcome to In the Kitchen with Mary Mac. Well, we lost a whole week at the end of this year, somewhere. Nobody's sure what happened, but we're all complaining about it. Somewhere November sucked up a whole week and it went into a black hole. So here we are, late as usual. This is the last podcast for us of 2024. So this year we've had this kind of theme going. It's actually a theme. It was classic recipes. In thinking of a recipe for the Christmas time, I was trying to think of something Christmassy, and I'm like, we always do a holiday recipe at Christmas, so I'm going to do something that's meaningful to Western Pennsylvania, and a classic Pennsylvania dish, and a classic national dish, and doggone it, I'm doing the banana split.
And hey, if you live in a warmer climate or in the southern hemisphere, this would be perfect for Christmas.
Exactly. Yes, in a tropical area, oh my gosh, banana splits every day. We are in Western Pennsylvania, and the banana split comes from Western Pennsylvania, a little east of us, in a place called Latrobe. Now, a lot of the cities in Western Pennsylvania have French names because the French were here several hundred years ago.
But none of them are pronounced the way that they would be in French because this is Western Pennsylvania.
No, some of them are, but some of them aren't. There's really no key to this. So it looks like it should be Latrobe.
That's how I always thought it was
T-R-O-B-E, but it's Latrobe.
I always thought that Versailles was pronounced Versailles. How wrong I was.
Yes, especially North Versailles in the Pittsburgh area. But Duquesne is pronounced correctly. However, Du Bois is not. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, it varies. It's all over the map.
There's no way of knowing until you say something and somebody laughs at you.
So remember, it's Latrobe. So if you go to Latrobe, you won't be embarrassed by saying Latrobe and being corrected repeatedly at every place you go to. Every establishment, everywhere will correct you. So, Latrobe. Now, this recipe is from 1904. It was they actually know when it was invented. Like, the guy who did it wrote it down because it became a thing. It became a very popular thing. And this is sort of like, in another podcast, we did a recipe called Johnny Marzetti. And this is kind of like the Johnny Marzetti thing, where all the college kids took it home with them. And it spread all over the country like wildfire. It spread from Latrobe. Banana split, where did it come from? There was a drugstore in Latrobe that was called the Tassel Pharmacy. And a young man worked there whose name was David Strickler. And he was a pharmacy student at Pitt, but he was working at this drugstore to raise money. You know, people used to be able to work their way through school. You couldn't own the drugstore and work your way through pharmacy school at Pitt in our time. Anyway, David was doing that. And what David was, he was not a pharmacist or an assistant pharmacist or anything like that. He was a soda jerk. Now, a soda jerk was a guy who made sodas at the drugstore, because drugstores usually, they were kind of laid out like one side of it was the drug side, and the other side of it was a long bar with bar stools, and it had ice cream and all the toppings for ice cream, and then it would have the handles that the soda came out of. And they didn't have like pop like we know it now, was not a thing yet. But they had sodas. They could make sodas. And what they did was they used syrups to make soda pop. So if you wanted a Coca-Cola, which at that time actually had cocaine in it, you would take a little bit of Coke syrup and put it in a glass and hit it with the soda water, which was under pressure at the soda fountain. And it would make a fizzy Coca-Cola drink that would make you feel better. They had cherry syrup. They would make cherry Cokes and cherry pops and sundaes and floats and things like that were popular at the time. Everybody's probably watched like shows like Happy Days, where they're having a soda with a straw in it and it's like ice cream and whatever, but that kind of thing. So it was a very common thing in those days. So the drugstore was always the place where you had the drugstore and you had the soda fountain and you could get.
I think even in It's a Wonderful Life, in the beginning, when they're in the pharmacy, there's people having ice cream at the counter.
Right, yeah, because the little girl He's giving the little girl an ice cream sundae. So sundaes were a thing then. You had a dish, you put ice cream in it, and you could put toppings. And they did have all kinds of toppings like strawberry syrup and cherry syrup and chocolate syrup and different sorts of fruits like jams. You put jam on them, so pineapple, anything like that. So you could get any kind of a topping like that on a sundae, okay? And you would have whipped cream, right, at the soda fountain because all those things had whipped cream. So they had the old whipped cream whippers that were charged. They were a metal can that they put the cream in, and they would charge it with whatever gas was the propellant.
Is it CO2?
I don't know what they used at that time. Now they would use CO2, but I don't know what they used then. They probably used nitrous oxide or something. God only knows.
What's the most poisonous gas that we can use?
No wonder these things make you happy. It's got nitrous oxide in there.
Top it with a little liquid mercury. It's a treat.
So they had all these things anyway. And remember, in our podcast that we did about banana pudding this year, we learned that bananas became very popular in the United States in the late 1800s because of the Dole Fruit Company, because they were shipping bananas in. So here we are at the soda fountain in Latrobe, Pennsylvania, and we have ice cream, several flavors. We have syrups, several flavors. We have whipped cream. We even have maraschino cherries, a little brightly red poisonous dyed cherry with a stem on it. Oh, this is getting horrific, and I didn't think of that. We're going to so anyway.
This would be such a dangerous food.
Oh my gosh. So anyway, another thing that's in Latrobe is St. Vincent's College. Very nearby to, it's just outside of the edge of the city. So the students from St. Vincent's College hung out at Tassel's Pharmacy. The kids from St. Vincent's would come down there, and they knew David Strickler. So they kind of all hung out together. And he made, I guess one of the things that David Strickler was known for was if you came in and you wanted something a little different, he would do whatever you wanted. If you wanted some crazy thing like chocolate ice cream with cherry syrup or, whatever. So,
I mean, that does sound really good.
Yes, it does.
That's like a Black Forest ice cream sundae.
It does, actually, with whipped cream. One day, a kid came in and said, "Hey, I want something really different. I'm tired of the same old thing. I'm tired of the same old ice cream and sundaes here in 1904 in Tassel's Pharmacy in Latrobe. What can you do for me?"
He was a very specific student.
So David Strickler took a banana. He had some kind of a dish, obviously. So he took a banana and he split it in half. Huh? Banana split? Okay. He split it in half and he put a scoop of vanilla ice cream and a scoop of strawberry ice cream and a scoop of chocolate ice cream in between the two slices of banana. And then he put some kind of syrup on the vanilla. It wasn't pineapple, which is what we use now, but nobody knows exactly what he put on the vanilla. It's like been lost to time. And he put strawberries on the strawberry ice cream, and he put chocolate syrup on the chocolate ice cream, and then he put 3 mounds of whipped cream on top of the ice cream, and then he put 2 cherries on it, one at each end tower. Apparently nowadays they put a little American flag on a toothpick. But I don't know what he put in the middle. They put that right in the middle. And also, now, some people say there were chopped nuts on it. Others say there weren't. So that's kind of back and forth. It may have had chopped nuts. The kid eats the thing, and it becomes an absolute overnight sensation. Everybody wants a banana split. So, in 1904, you were getting 3 scoops of ice cream with this thing and a banana. So they had to charge you more than the usual sundae, so it was 10 cents. So your banana split was 10 cents.
That's the extortion.
Can you imagine?
Of this soda jerk.
The regular
10 cents?
The regular thing was probably a nickel, So the college kids were going crazy for it. And like I said, of course, everybody went home from, when they went home for the holidays or whatever, and told their parents about this fantastic thing, and they told other people, and it ended up spreading around the country. As with everything like this, wherever you say, we invented I don't care what it is, there's a place in Ohio that says they invented the banana split. However, their banana split didn't turn up until 1909, so they're out. but they won't give in to Latrobe, okay? Now, Boston used to say that they invented the banana split, but theirs was in 1905. And once they saw the letter that David Strickler had written that detailed the account of making the banana split, they said, oh, well, you guys have it. We didn't do it. So see, Boston, nicer than you think, and Ohio, same as usual. So
we apologize to all of our Ohio listeners.
So we used to have an ice cream place near us in Newcastle that made banana splits like this. And you could take your own banana. You got a little discount if you took your own banana. But you could take your own banana and they would make you a banana split. And they did it like that with the vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry ice cream. And then pineapple on the vanilla, strawberries on the strawberry, chocolate syrup on the chocolate. You know, it was fantastic. It was called Scoops. Excellent place. So, anywho, the banana split really took off in popularity and people wanted them, but the dishes were, you need a long dish for a banana split, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a candy dish. You see a lot of, like, in grandparents' houses, the long skinny candy dishes could work for a banana split.
Well, David Strickler designed a banana boat for his banana split. Now, I remember when I was a kid...
Did he also have anything to do with banana boat sunscreen?
I don't think so.
Because, my goodness,
but he was a pharmacist.
Branding ideas.
He was a pharmacist, though. But he invented a dish and had it made in glass. A local company stamped it out of glass. Now, I remember when I was a kid, we used to go to a place and you could get banana splits and they came in a plastic boat that looked like a little dinghy, or, like a lifeboat. Like that. So I don't know if that's what he particularly invented, but anyway, he did actually create the boat that the banana split went in. And imagine, I think they said he was 20 years old when he did this. So that's pretty great for a 20-year-old kid who's studying pharmacy at Pitt. He continued to work at Tassel's Pharmacy for after he graduated and everything. He continued to work there and probably continued to make banana splits and ended up buying the pharmacy, turning it into Strickler's Pharmacy, and continuing to serve banana splits. And I guess one day he decided to write down an account of this because, it was such a popular thing. So he wrote a letter and told all about how he had invented the banana split. He gets the props for that, and he gets the props for inventing the banana boat, okay? Now, people kind of forgot about this over time. I guess it wasn't that important anymore, banana splits, blah, blah, blah. Until a fella came along who they called Ice Cream Joe, and his name is
I wonder what
Ice
he
Cream
was
Joe
famous for.
So Ice Cream Joe, I believe, actually owned a dairy near Latrobe.
What? Egad.
I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but
Shocking.
Here we are. Here we are.
Absolutely
So
shocking.
Ice Cream Joe Grubel wanted people to know that Latrobe was the birthplace of the banana split. And in 2004, he realized it was, before that, he realized we're coming up on the 100th anniversary of the banana split. So he got together with the University of Pittsburgh, and they had this is their catchphrase, from Pitt came the split. I'm telling you. So anyway.
That's not good at all.
No, but they had a 100th anniversary celebration of the creation of the banana split, and it was kind of a big deal. They had this big event and everything. Now, they don't have this every year, although I think they might have started doing it after COVID. Not sure, though, so keep your eye on Latrobe just in case.
Hang on. What should we keep our eye on?
Latrobe, in case
Latrobe?
there's an annual... Oh, I'm sorry. Latrobe. Good grief, I slipped. I slipped into my improper Pittsburghese. Anyway, they may have an annual event now because they do have something where they serve banana splits like crazy.
It should be called Banana Splitsburg.
Banana Splitsburg. Let's change the name. So anyway, in 2004, they had a banana split bash to mark the 100th anniversary of the banana split. Of course, they had banana splits all over the place. Now, there's a chain of restaurants called the Valley Dairy Restaurant, and apparently Joe Grubel was the president of that chain. So, of course, he wanted to promote the banana split, right? And I believe that still exists out there, and you can still go there and get a banana split. So, he really pushed it, and he's the one that really got the attention as Latrobe being the birthplace of the banana split. So they now have, at the site of Strickler's drugstore, which no longer exists because unfortunately they tried to fix it up, but it was just so old and not that good of a building. So they took it out, but made a tiny little park there, or a parklet, as we call them now. And there's a fabulous sculpture created by a local artist and some students. His name was John Mayer, and he had some students who got the idea to make this banana split sculpture out of cement. He's an artist who works in cement, and he has a few sculptures around Western Pennsylvania. They have this banana split there, and they got a historical marker that says that it is the birthplace of the banana split. So Wilmington, Ohio can kick rocks because
we apologize to our listeners from Wilmington, Ohio.
No, they still say that they're the birthplace, even though they're not, and they know it. So anyway, yet another fabulous thing to come out of Western Pennsylvania. It's just unbelievable, the amount of fabulous things that have come out of Western Pennsylvania. Just amazing. So, how to make a banana split? Well, first, you're going to need some dishes to put a banana split in. Now, I have these dishes that are shaped like a banana. We're going to have some pictures up later. These are, I don't know, these are okay if you're not putting big scoops of ice cream in your banana split.
This is like a banana split for a small child.
Yeah, that's probably exactly what they were from. Yeah. But you'll need a long ovally dish like a boat-shaped dish, or a dish-shaped boat, one or the other. And, of course, you'll need delicious bananas.
How ripe should the bananas be? Do you want them a little speckly? Do you want them, like, fully yellow?
You want them to be yellow because you don't want them to break when you split them in half, because they can do that. If you don't care, I mean, really, you're eating it anyway. As a matter of fact, if you don't have a banana-shaped dish and you don't want to have a long strip of banana, you can slice the banana up and put it in the bottom of your dish. I don't think there's any like laws about this. I don't think the banana split police from the banana split television show are going to come after you and arrest you in cartoon fashion for hacking up your banana instead of slicing it. So then you use the ice cream. Now, you can just get a container of Neapolitan ice cream, which is vanilla, chocolate, and strawberry. That's what I did. Very simple. And then you put a scoop of each, and then you use crushed pineapple. You don't have to buy fancy pineapple sauce or anything like that because it doesn't taste like pineapple. And they do make a pineapple ice cream topping, but it's hard to find. Regular old crushed pineapple on the vanilla. And then on the strawberry ice cream, you can either use strawberry jam if you want to, or you can use cut up strawberries that you've put some sugar on them and smush them up. Some people just use strawberry syrup. But in the original, you wanted strawberries, because they didn't have what we would have like strawberry syrup. It was probably more like strawberry jelly-ish sort of a syrup back then. And it actually had strawberries in it, whereas ours doesn't, the modern strawberries. So use strawberries. I actually got the frozen strawberries. They're sliced in sugar, so I'm using those. And then chocolate ice cream, you put chocolate syrup on, okay? Then you put a pile of whipped cream on each piece of ice cream, and then the cherries on top. I had to laugh because I was thinking, I don't know about other people, but we buy more ice cream in the winter than we do in the summer. I don't know why that is. I think maybe, here's what one thing I was thinking was, maybe I think ice cream won't melt in the car on the way home in the winter. I don't know.
It's a valid point.
Or maybe I think because it's so cold in my house right now, that
if I make myself cold by eating cold food, it'll feel warm.
Yes, it'll feel warm. I remember somebody telling me this one time, and I thought, this sounds crazy, but who knows? So I don't know. But I thought, this is kind of a fun and different thing to do. And by golly, you could have a banana split for supper if you wanted to, because that's a lot of food there. 3 scoops of ice cream and a banana. It's almost like a, you got your milk, you got your eggs, you got your banana. It's sort of like a full.
You have your eggs?
Yeah, in the ice cream. Eggs in ice cream, milk's in ice cream. It's just like an
omelet?
Dinner. Yeah, kind of like an omelet. I don't know, but it's kind of, Anywho, that's how you make a banana split. I mean, I know Dairy Queen puts the 3 piles of vanilla ice cream on there and, just the syrups and stuff, and that's not bad. But if you really want to have a good banana split, make yourself a banana split with some good Pennsylvania ice cream. I got the Turkey Hill, so get you some good Pennsylvania ice cream. Make yourself a nice Pennsylvania banana split. Hear that, Ohio?
We once again apologize to our Ohio listeners.
And just celebrate in style. And if you happen to go to Latrobe in the summertime and you happen to get a banana split there, stop up at St. Vincent College. They have some cool stuff. They have a bunch of Mr. Rogers stuff there, and that's where the Steelers go for training camp. But it's crazy when there's training camp, so don't go then. Go a different time. There's also a couple of really good restaurants there and a Ligonier's nearby. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff in the area. So make sure you go to Latrobe and get a banana split at some point in your life so that you can feel complete. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year, happy Hanukkah, happy whatever you're celebrating. I hope you have a wonderful.
And make sure to check us out online on social media at Mary Mac Bakehouse, and check out our YouTube page where we have all of our recipes sorted by category, and our website, marymacbakehouse.com.
Thanks a lot for listening if you did, and if you didn't, too bad for you.